drinking in the morning sun, blinking in the morning sun, shaking off the heavy wall.
Hey guys, welcome back, and yes, it is another record store day. Unbelievable how fast the time goes. It feels like not even close to a year since the last time we did this in April of last year. This is my 4th year in a row coming on and making a video for record store day, so I was very excited. As usual, up very early, got up at 2 o'clock this morning, was in line at 3 o'clock, and as usual I spent way too much money, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some really cool records. This was a great record store day this year. Over 450 titles. I had to let a lot go, a lot of things that I could have and easily would have wanted to get, but even still, I got way too much. And I'm very, very excited to show it to you. I'm going to go quickly through some of the other stuff that I usually do because it takes too much time, and I think the interest is only mild. First stop today, and the vast majority of everything I bought was at Piranha Records. Incredible nice swag bag. You got a poster, you got a frisbee, you got, oh, they gave me a t-shirt. I think I spent enough money where they were happy with me. You got a little something Taxman flexi disc there. You got, oh my gosh, what else? A little postcard that I have no idea. Some sort of sampler CD. Another record store day sampler CD, buttons, and oh, here, let's see what else is in here if I can find it. Run the Jewels. If you're a Run the Jewels fan, they were the ambassadors of this particular record store day, so that's cool for Run the Jewels fans. And you got this cool square record store day badge, and I think that's it. So really, among the 3 stores that I went to today, the vast majority of my time and money was spent at Piranha Records. So it was really, really nice for me to keep it local in my little city instead of going into Austin. I did go into Austin and I picked up a few things at 2 other stores, but not near as much. And the vast majority of what I'm going to show you today was purchased at Piranha Records. However, I did make a stop at Waterloo. Can't have record store day without Waterloo. Same bag, different record store. No swag, so I guess I either didn't spend enough or they ran out of swag. And then I last stop, Breakaway Records, and in here you get 45, something on the Wildcat label, Summertime by Spot Barnett Orchestra, if anybody knows that. Jose Jimenez, the Wetbacks, no idea. Yeah, usually this stuff is kind of, it's free for a reason. And some other sort of CD sampler here with, if you want to pause the video and see what that is all about, feel free. Sorry for the glare. And I will tell you, will warn you that I haven't even opened any of this stuff. I'm really late getting to this video because it ended up being a long morning. A lot of driving, a lot of waiting, and very busy stores. So I'm late to get here, so I haven't even opened any of it. So you're not going to probably see the records or gatefolds. If you're interested in anything, it really is all online. Easy, easy, easy to find it. So I just like to show you what I bought and what my interests are. And if you want the details of every particular record, I think you're better off going online because some of these are really kind of either a little unknown to me or I don't know the color or something like that. So don't shoot me, don't beat me up in the comments. I'm being straight up honest with you. I just got home. So that was really quick, the swag, really quick my story, so much fun. I'm going to start off with the 7-inch. There's one, and I bet you know what it is. 7 inches rarely interest me. I very, very seldomly get 7-inch singles, as you know from previous record store day videos. This one was a little hard to pass by though because it is one of the greatest bands of all time. This is Led Zeppelin. And you get rock and roll, some sort of different mix, some Sunset sound mix, and a Olympic Studio sound mix of Friends. So that was intriguing, and I love the cover, so I thought, why not? Might as well pick that up on Record Store Day, and I'm glad I did. We'll have to see how that sounds in comparison to the original version. That's it, 7-inch. Okay, so 10 inches, there is 3. First one I'm going to show you is the ultimate goofball nerd record of all time. This, I tell you, if you remember a couple record store days ago, I bought the BB-8 picture disc. It was a shape of BB-8, and inside his little belly there was a little 7-inch single. Same thing this year, other than it's not BB-8, it is a Porg. And if you've seen The Last Jedi, they're the little alien penguin things that make squealy sounds and get on Chewbacca's nerves. And I just think it's the most adorable thing ever. So once again, there's a track in the middle of the belly of the Porg. It's really a 7-inch single, but I'm going to classify this as a 10-inch because it's the same size as a 10-inch. And it's just absolutely adorable. These are ridiculously priced, I'm not going to lie. And they had quite a few left of them because I think people are scared of the price. It's $30. But I don't even care. I had to have it. Massive Star Wars fan. I really liked the last movie and had to have it. So I'm so excited to have my little Porg. So that's probably the goofiest item you're going to see today. I'm sure of that. Okay, I'm a big fan of the Lone Bellow. You guys know that. I've introduced people to this band, and they've always liked them. Really, really cool kind of Americana country tinge band. The Lone Bellow live at Grimey's, little 4-track EP on 10-inch. Again, I don't know if this is colored vinyl. I don't think it is, but I'll have to open it and see. Not expensive on that. This one I was very, very excited and happy to get because I absolutely love this song and I love the movie. And of course with vinyl it's more about the music, and this is a great song. This is Sufjan Stevens' Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name. On transparent vinyl, it's a Music on Vinyl 10-inch, which they don't do 10-inch very often. I have one other 10-inch from Music on Vinyl from Lamb, and always do such a fantastic job. These are numbered. There are 10,000 of these, and every store I went to was sold out because people love this song. It's an absolutely beautiful, stunning song that really rips your heart out. So 6250, not a great number on it, but I don't even care. Just really happy to have it. So that's it. That's it on 7-inch, and that's it on 10-inch. Everything else I'm going to show you is LP. There may be 1 or 2 12-inch singles mixed in here, but most everything's an LP. You may or may not know that the folks, the guys that do the soundtrack for Stranger Things, Kevin Dixon, and I forget the other guy's name. Sorry, I don't edit these. I don't research. But they have a band, and they're called Survive, and they're from here in Austin, Texas. And I have a few albums and 12-inch singles from Survive, and they have released a, I guess we'll call this an EP. Looks like they're, well, no, I don't know, it's 9 tracks, so we'll call it an LP. Live from Los Angeles, California from April 2017, Survive. These are the guys from Stranger Things. That if you love the music in Stranger Things, you'd probably like this because it's very similar. So yeah, very excited to hear this. I've always enjoyed their music, and I've known them probably before Stranger Things even, and just fantastic. So I was very happy to pick that up. To my friend Albert, I owe you an apology because I told you on Facebook I would not buy this, and I lied. I bought it anyway. You know how I get. I have the other 2 Sundays Record Store Day items. I have 2 copies of this one, and I said, no, I'm not going to buy that. I already have 2 copies of it. One's picture disc from way back when, from Rough Trade Records, is worth a fortune, and I have an original copy that plays perfectly, so why do I need the Record Store Day one? Well, it's color vinyl, and I have the 2 other Record Store Day issues on color vinyl for Blind and Static and Silence. So I did pick up Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic, the debut album from the Sundays, the Record Store Day issue. Albert, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it anyway. You know me so well because you told me on Facebook, well, I'll look for it on your video, so here you go. You were right, I was wrong. So there you go. This was also kind of one of those not on my list items, but I decided to pick it up anyway. Always been a big fan of this band. Their last album was just okay for me, but this is a nice little picture disc of the track Lights Home from U2. Beautiful, kind of similar to the album cover, but of course on a picture disc, front and back there of the 2 son and daughter of Bono and I think The Edge. And yeah, I think it'll sound pretty good too for a picture disc. It's made in the Czech Republic, And, well, I'm just a sucker for U2, so I went ahead and got it. Okay, this is also a 12-inch single. Courtney Barnett has a brand new album coming out. I think it's out in 2 or 3 weeks. This is a single called City Looks Pretty, and the B-side of Sunday Roast. So this is Courtney Barnett and her Record Store Day. I did not pick up the other album. It's a 2 LP picture disc of her first 2 EPs because I have it on black vinyl. It's the same exact thing, and I know I would prefer to hear that as opposed to picture disc, and the picture disc didn't really dazzle me that much. So it was black and white, and it suits the album fine. It's perfect because the original cover is black and white, but I didn't get that because I just felt that was kind of redundant. So there you have the new song, a single from Courtney Barnett, and I'm excited to hear her new record. Always look forward to her music. This one was kind of on the list. It was on the B list, I suppose you could say. But I really liked the last album, and this is remixed versions of those songs from the last album, from the Weather Diaries. This is Ride, the Weather Diaries remixed, more or less. I don't think this is color vinyl. I'll have to open it to be sure. But it is double album, 4 sides, and I think it's every track from that album remixed. So, yeah, since I was a big fan of that last album, and I know my friend Ross Goodall's a fan of that album, I thought, why not pick up the remixes of it and see how those sound? So that was pretty exciting. I'm going kind of quick because there's a lot here. This one, I kept thinking to myself, do I need it? Do I want it? I don't know. I picked up the most recent remastered of it on the stereo, and I decided to go ahead and get it because the packaging is really good on this, and I thought it was very reasonably priced for Pink Floyd. This is Piper at the Gates of Dawn. This is the mono version of Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and I love the packaging. I think it's glorious. It just really suits the album, so much better than the original cover even. And it has like an envelope type style opening to it. Looks like it's going to be a little complicated. It's got some silver foil and really nice thick. It looks very well done, and it was $23, so I thought for Pink Floyd that's pretty good. And classic album remastered from the original mono mix, so I thought, why not get that? This one, I always pick these up when I can on Record Store Day because this is the third one that they've done now. They have done what ones did they do now? Oh, they did Tusk, they did Mirage, and now they have, Fleetwood Mac has done Tango in the Night. This is the alternate Tango in the Night, so it's basically the album track by track, but the original either demos or alternate takes or different versions of it. And if it's anything like the Mirage one, I really, really like the Mirage one. In fact, I like the Mirage one almost as much as the original album. Tango in the Night is probably the weakest of those 3 albums for me. So I'm kind of anxious to hear this and see how it sounds. Again, I think they did a fantastic job with the cover. It looks obviously very different from the original. Back cover looks very similar, if not identical. But yeah, very excited to hear the alternate versions of Tango in the Night from Fleetwood Mac. This one was very exciting for me, and I'm glad I got there early because I have a feeling this one sold very quickly. It's Brian Eno, Kevin Shields. It's just a 2-track single, really, I guess you could call it, but they're both very long songs. You get a Weight of History, almost 9 minutes, and just over 9 minutes for Only Once Away My Son, produced by Brian Eno and Kevin Shields, and Brian Eno collaboration. Kevin Shields is the frontman from My Bloody Valentine. So I thought, what a very interesting collaboration that must be, and I was excited to get there and get it. And they had 3 copies. I was 4th in line, and luckily I got one, and the other stores I went to didn't see it at all, so I think this was pretty hot and maybe limited. I'm not sure, but given these 2 big names, would not be surprised if it was a very big seller for Record Store Day. These were kind of, again, on the B list, but I went ahead and got them, particularly this one, because I'm not into them as much as I used to be. But then again, I used to be such a huge fan, and I really don't have much in the way of live music from Duran Duran. So this is Thanksgiving Live, the Ultimate Chrome Latex and Steel Tour. I think this was from the Midazoland tour, which was a really terrible album. But I noticed that the opening track is Midazoland. So I'm thinking that must be that tour, because where else would they sing that? But nevertheless, it's a 4-sided LP live Don't know really anything about it. It was, doesn't even say what was recorded. 2,000 copies on marble vinyl. You can kind of get a feel for what that record's going to look like. So there you have that. And then there's another Duran Duran album for Record Store Day. This is Budokan. Duran Duran, I'm assuming live at Budokan. So, yeah, this one is very colorful, quite different than the other one. This one has Paper Gods, so this must be off the Paper Gods tour. Someone's just messaged me, it's very annoying. Paper Gods, View to a Kill, Pressure Off, Hold Back the Rain, I Don't Want Your Love, Reach Out for the Sunrise, New Moon on Monday, Alone in the Universe, and Save a Prayer. So yeah, I think this will be the better of the two, even though this is just a single disc, but we'll see. But I think this is also black vinyl. Again, I'm not 100% sure. See if it tells me. No, but it does tell me it was recorded live at the Budokan in Tokyo in 2017, so that's much more recent. This is one that I've wanted for a long time, and I think there may be original copies of this, but if there is, it goes for a lot of money. This is Catherine Wheel Happy Days. This is a 2 LP album from, if I could get the year, 1995, so this was really a dead period for vinyl. So if there is vinyl copies of this, you can imagine they go for a pretty penny. So Happy Days from Catherine Wheel. I have this on cassette, believe it or not. And I really like this album, but it was very excited to see this as a Record Store Day release. This is the kind of stuff I get into for Record Store Day. When it's albums that have never been pressed on vinyl or new to been a long time, very long, out of print, that go for outrageous amounts of money, that's my kind of Record Store Day. All right, and then in my first stack here, I decided to go ahead with the 2 Cure LPs. One is Mixed Up, and this is really the more interesting of the two. They look very similar. This is the original Mixed Up that was a single LP, I think, back in the day when it came out. This is all 2018 remasters, picture disc, just like the Record Store Day items from last year when they did acoustic hits and their greatest hits. This is Mixed Up, which is remix versions from the 90s, basically, of some of their better-known hits, which is a really good remix album. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite remix albums of all time. And those picture discs from last year sounded really good. But this is the most interesting of the two. This is called Torn Down Mix. This is all new, 16 new mixes by Robert Smith. So you got some of the same songs and a few different ones, but these are brand new mixes from Robert Smith from some of the classic Cure stuff. So if you, good luck, but if you want to pause the video and try to read that track listing, but then again, it's probably easier for you just to see it online. But again, picture disc, 2 LPs. I'm very excited to have these. So I've got all 4 now in the series from last year and this year, so that's neat. Okay, we're on to soundtracks now. We've got soundtracks in 1 box set and we're done. Soundtracks went a little crazy this year, I can't lie, because there was a lot, and a lot that was interesting to me. I got this because I'm a fan of the band, as usual when it comes to soundtracks. Never heard of the movie, probably could care less. This is Goblin Squadra Anti-Gangsters. And if it's anything like the other music from Goblin, I'm sure I'm going to like it. This is Record Store Day 2018 Yellow Edition. So this will be on yellow vinyl. Don't know anything about the movie, so if you've seen this film, feel free to comment if it's good, bad, indifferent, who knows. But Goblin is a very, very cool kind of psych band, very unique style. When you hear a Goblin song, you pretty much know it's Goblin. This one was kind of, again, on the B list, but I decided to get it because I'm a huge fan of the label. And 2,500 copies only, kind of a once-and-done type of thing, I'm sure, on blue vinyl. This is George Martin, Beatles to Bach, to Bond to Bach. So George Martin instrumental covers, I'm sure, of the Bond Suite, some Beatles stuff, the Beatles Suite, Yellow Submarine Suite, and then you've got the Bach stuff that, who knows. But I thought it was interesting enough. What number did I get on this? I got number 1109 of 2,500. So again, music on vinyl, blue vinyl, George Martin, greatest producer of all time. Can't say too much there. This is another nod to my friend Albert, who talked me into this. This wasn't on my list, but this was his most wanted item, he said. So I said, if Albert it's his most wanted item. I got to give it a try because I have a couple of their other records and I like it. I think this is a soundtrack. It's music from Before the Storm, which I think is a film, from Daughter. Daughter is a all-girl band, and they're very good. And I like their albums a lot. So correct me if I'm wrong, feel free, but I think this is a score to a film. And I was intrigued by it. I like the cover. It's kind of like a pastel watercolor type theme here. And I thought it might be quite different for Daughter, so I went ahead and picked it up, but primarily because it was Albert's #1 wanted item this year at Record Store Days. So there you have it. This was something I'm very, very complete on Eric Clapton, as everybody knows. This is something I didn't have. So I was kind of excited, even though there's only a couple Clapton tracks on it. He is named on the cover, original score composed and performed by Eric Clapton. Well, I say only a couple Clapton songs. It's all Eric Clapton, only a couple songs he sings on, I think. The rest, I believe, is instrumental. But I hear it's very good. My friend James, Rockboy680, has this. He has an original copy of it. Has said it is very good. So this is a soundtrack to Rush. Big build up for that. And I don't have this. Never had it. Never heard it. And this makes me even more complete now on my Eric Clapton collection. So I tell you, except for Rockboy680, I gotta believe that I have one of the greatest Eric Clapton collections that you can possibly get on vinyl. And I couldn't let that go. I couldn't not get it because getting originals of that is very, very tricky. These have a very soft spot in my heart because you guys know I'm a huge, massive, crazy fan of Doctor Who. And these are the 3rd and 4th of a new series of releases that they're going to complete like a whole, it's not a box set, but it's going to look like a box set when it's done. All the spines line up. It's really cool. This is Doctor Who, the 2nd Doctor, the Tomb of the Cybermen. These are, well, let me just read it here. Patrick Troughton faces the dreaded Cybermen in this TV soundtrack adventure by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis, with Lincoln narration by Fraser Hines. So I think they kind of fill in the stuff that got lost from BBC and create a whole album, basically, of it. So really, really cool. Absolutely love the cover. Just love it. You got the, I forget the name of this particular Cyberman, but it's just really cool. And I just love Doctor Who, and I love everything associated with it. So this was high on my list. This is exclusive to Record Store Day, first time on vinyl, and this is going to be silver vinyl, which is very appropriate for your Cybermen stuff. So very, very excited for that. And for Doctor Who fans, there's more. This is City of Death, the 4th Doctor, kind of the same thing. You got the Tom Baker starring as the 4th Doctor in this TV soundtrack adventure by David Agnew, with linking narration by Layla Ward. So really, really cool. Again, 2 LP set. This is another part of that new series that they're doing where all the spines will eventually look like a TARDIS. So very cool. This is 2 LPs, exclusive to Record Store Day, green vinyl, green transparent vinyl. So I had to have both of those. So I've got 4 now. I think there's going to be a total of 8. So throughout the rest of the year, they'll probably release the others. Big, big fan of Ennio Morricone. You guys know that, and I've been promising for the longest time I'm going to make an Ennio Morricone video because I have a huge vinyl collection of his soundtracks. Most of them I'm not ever going to be able to pronounce the title of the film. This one is the exception. This one's called Autopsy. And this looks really super cool. This is on kind of a blood red vinyl, and given the title of the film, it kind of makes sense, an autopsy. Don't know anything about any of the movies he scored for the most part, other than maybe those spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood and whatnot. But this is a double album, and much longer soundtrack than the majority his that are out there. And they always do such an amazing job with his soundtracks. They sound incredible, and they're just flawlessly pressed always. Really dynamic artwork and great colored vinyl almost all the time. And I was so super excited to see an Ennio Morricone, one of my favorite composers of all time, apart from John Williams, probably my 2nd favorite music score film composer of all time. We're almost done. This one I did not expect to get. I didn't even know this was a Record Store Day release. the guy who helps me get a lot of records online from the label I like so much, Music on Vinyl, over at Ed's Awesome Sounds, has sold out of this, and he doesn't think he's going to get any more copies. The record store had one copy of it, and I got the copy that they had, so I was very, very happy for that. I've never seen the film, probably never will see the film, but this is a really cool soundtrack. This is an edition of 1500, numbered on green vinyl, includes a poster for the film Sucker Punch. And you think, well, who gives a rat's ass? But you look at who's on here. You got Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, Army of Me, Bjork, White Rabbit, We Will Rock You mashup. This is really going to be cool. Tomorrow Never Knows, Where's My Mind? I don't know that one. So really the first side in particular looks really, 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 really cool. We Will Rock You mashup with Queen. You got the Bjork, you got Eurythmics, or cover of it at least. This is really going to be cool. I can't wait to hear this. I was super excited that they had a copy of it because I thought I was kind of not going to get it. So number 571, this is an edition of 1500, as I said. Sorry I'm not showing you the colors, but again, we're going to go 30 minutes or close to it. And I just don't have, I don't want to keep you guys here longer than that. And then the soundtrack I really, other than perhaps the Doctor Who ones, this is the one I really wanted the most because I love the composer and I love the series. I think it's so super well done. Hats off to BBC for doing a soundtrack to this. Hats off to Hans Zimmer for scoring such an important series. This was very expensive, I can't lie. This is $43. This is the second most expensive item I bought. But I had to have it. This is 2 LPs, transparent vinyl, for Blue Planet 2. And if you have never seen Blue Planet, it's an astounding series of underwater, real life, learning. I mean, you learn so much on these. And they're just fantastic to watch. The visual, I mean, the work that goes into these is second to none. I mean, this is like high caliber stuff. So, this just looks so nice. They did such a remarkable job with it. And I can't wait to see the vinyl, really. This is on 2 LPs. This is going to be like a very deep, transparent ocean blue. And I have seen this, and it's just stunning. And I love Hans Zimmer. I think he's one of my favorite composers as well. If I had to rank him, I'd probably go Williams, Morricone, and Hans Zimmer, because he scored some of my very favorite films of all time. So, boy, this was just a home run for me. So happy I could get it. Then finally, last but not least, this is the reason I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is the reason I stood in line from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. until the store opened. I really, really wanted this. And I'm such a huge fan. I've already done a collections video on this artist, and I probably showed you the CD at that point. This is the first time on vinyl, I believe. This is 4 LP, 34 tracks recorded live during Jeff Buckley's Cafe Days in the summer of 1993. And I always pronounce it wrong, so don't beat me up on it because I don't know for sure. I think it's Sine or Chene. Jeff Buckley live at Chene or Sine. I'm assuming it's in California. Could be wrong there too. We probably went through this on my last video, so go back there and see the same mistakes twice. But this is really, really, really a nice 4 LP box set. As you can see, it's hardbound. All the LPs are going to be in here. This was the most expensive item I purchased today, $80. But I'm a big Jeff Buckley fan. This is an artist that's been near and dear to my heart for a very long time. I just had to have it. My store had 2 copies. They post their stuff online prior to Record Store Day. And you can count how many copies they have. And when it's 2, it's pretty easy to count. So I'm like, if I want that thing, I got to get up early and get it. And the guy in front of me wanted it too. Can you believe that? He wanted it too. So the owner of the store let us both go in and said, okay, you got 1 copy here, you got 1 copy here, on opposite sides of the store almost. And, so we kind of strategized. He took the first one. He was ahead of me. And I had to walk across to the other side of the store to get my copy of it. And then I met a new friend today, Alex. Hello, Alex. Who grabbed the Star Wars and Suffragan Steven 10-inch because they were on the side that the other guy was going for his copy of that box set. And I said, I don't want to miss out on this stuff. As it turns out, I wouldn't have, but he was nice enough to grab me because he wanted a Porg for himself. And he grabbed me a Porg, and he grabbed me a 10-inch of the Sufjan and Stevens 10-inch. I butcher his name too. But that was one of the most wanted items I had on my list today as well. So thanks to Alex. Thanks for keeping me company. When you're in line for 7 hours, it's nice to make a friend. And you were really good, fun company today, as was the gentleman in front of me. So he slept a lot, though. He was there since 8 o'clock in the evening, I guess, the night before. So go figure. Anyway, there you have it. That's my record store day. I didn't quite make it under 30 minutes, but it's close. I hope you enjoyed it. I love these annual ones. I'll come back and do a Black Friday one, assuming there's something I want. And I hope you enjoyed it. That's all I can say. I hope your experience was as fun as mine. You met cool people. You had a blast out there. It really is truly one of the most fun days of the year for me. It's my Christmas. You know, I don't spend money on much else except for my music. And to me, this is my Christmas and New Year's and Easter and everything else wrapped up into one. So yes, I spend a lot of money, but it's my passion. This is what I do. I don't have kids to feed, you know, so why not? Enjoy life. You can't take it with you. So that's it for me this time. Until I'm back for a next video, take care of yourselves. Happy Record Store Day, and bye for now.